Ryan gets to something here, and actually he's responding to somebody else in the chat, but I'm going to take his comment and I'm going to phrase it this way. I'm in the middle of this in regards to, I've got Miami fans, I've got Miami critics and detractors. And the critics and detractors are going to say, your stadium's empty all the time. You can't sell out. It's got to be, a top 10 matchup. It's got to be the best game of a 5-year span till it's really rocking. And then I hear I don't want to call them excuses. They could be excuses. They could just simply be explanations from the Miami contingent to say, consider A, B, and C. And we've heard what those things are in regards to things to do, entertainment, it being a more of a national fan base, it being, I don't want to say a smaller school. What's the enrollment?
It is. I mean, you're under 10,000 for undergrad.
There you go. In comparison to the football giants across the nation, all those things. So I hear it from both sides. I'll phrase it like this. What would be a healthy, realistic expectation of what the Orange Bowl would look like over the course of a 7-game home schedule when Miami gets to where you want Miami to be?
Understood. I'm going to get back to you. In 2017, it says the total enrollment was 17,000, but that's with med school and all of the tangential campuses as well. But yeah, it's usually, I think like 10, maybe 11,000 undergrad. So, not nowhere near the largest school in the world. That's okay. In terms of what the Orange Bowl looked like, and I can tell you because I was in college then, you had your 1 or 2 big games that are packed. Your Florida State, your Florida, that Louisville Thursday night game in 2004. Hester has the punter to beat. Mike Tirico called that one. Maybe one other game is going to be super duper packed. Your Virginia Tech, I think there was a Pittsburgh game that was fairly well attended. The Washington game in 2001 was, the rescheduled game and everything that was highly attended. But yeah, out of a 7-game home season, you'd have 2 like wall-to-wall, super duper packed. They only brought in the stands in the end zone for Florida State, obviously. Well, maybe there was 1 year for Virginia Tech that they did it. And then past that, you're going to be, probably cresting at 80% capacity, with a lot of games in the 65, 70% capacity range. Even against good teams, but if it's not Virginia Tech with Michael Vick or something like that, then yeah, it wasn't super duper packed. And I've made mention before, it was great to see the team win and it was great to be there and everything, but you can also transition the party elsewhere at halftime if we're up by 40, which happened sometimes. So yeah, you're going to have probably, I would say, a solid 2 games that would be, your game day kind of games, your showcase spotlight, noon. Your noontime ABC kick games that are going to be super, sold out, packed everywhere. And then the rest of the games are going to be between 65 to 80% capacity, even against good teams. And that's just kind of the nature of the beast in Miami, because there is so much else to do in the city itself. The city itself is a draw. And this is an event town. It's different than anywhere else that I've lived or kind of been around, both of my parents were from the south side of Chicago. I've been to Chicago more times than shake a stick at, you know what I mean? I used to spend summers over there. But the Cubs are like a destination, but they're also an institution, and so is Wrigley Field. So even if they're bad, it's more of a draw just because, wow, this is Wrigley Field. You know what I mean? Like Old Chicago Stadium was the draw. Now that's the United Center is across the street from where old Chicago Stadium was, but the Blackhawks games and everything, and the players who talk about going up these really steep steps, and they're like, yeah, but we're on skates. Like, yeah, but this is Chicago Stadium. You're not going to change that. That would be the draw for the Bulls. And remember, I'm from Detroit. Don't talk to me about the Bulls winning all these championships. We kept them from winning even more championships because they had to go through the Pistons. Even with that, in Detroit, Tiger Stadium was an institution, and the Tigers are an institution, but not in the same way as the Cubs, but like even the Lions. I hate, that I'm a Lions fan, but like they're an institution. Like you go and you live and you die with them, and it's a lot of death recently because God, they've been terrible my entire life, except for a couple of years. But you're gonna get more buy-in because the cities are less of a draw with other options and things to do and glitz and glamour than the city of Miami. Plus the fact you're not going to have, except for whatever they're calling the Heat Arena, wherever they play, none of these locations are city center in the glamour parts, right? Miami Gardens, they've built up, Carol City, shout out to everybody from South Florida. And I know that people hate that they changed the name, but I get why they slightly gentrified it with the history associated with Carol City and how it was. But, they built up that stadium site. They had an F1 race. They have the tennis open off of Key Biscayne up there now. They're doing world-class events, Super Bowls, championship games, all kinds of stuff like that. But it's off of the Turnpike, west of 95, just a little bit north of the Palmetto. That's not the glitz and glamour that you see before the game. That's not it. That's not where it is. You know what I mean? And I think it's the same thing with the Orange Bowl. Well, I know it's the same thing. That's west of 95 in Little Havana anyway, or that site where, Marlins Park is. So I say all that to say that the city of Miami usually cedes some numbers from local sports teams, even good ones, even the championship Miami Heat, right, for those years, unless it's an event. And with those events and with Miami getting back to being good, I think that you could still have some of those, but even with the team being incredible, like it was when I was in college from 2004, there's still going to be some times where it's like, they're playing Duke, they're playing Rutgers, or they're playing Temple. I'll watch from home. Y'all got it. It's just kind of how it is.